about a vision and some happenings that he has previously told me about, but you desperately need to intercede for KwaZulu-Natal. I saw people laying on the ground, bleeding and dying, screaming and crying. I saw earthquakes going on in South Africa, right near and in Johannesburg. And I saw the buildings shaking, streets coming up and buckling, and it looked like a rather large earthquake. So you need to desperately pray for Johannesburg. Any of you that's had dreams here lately, or even in the near past, you need to examine it when it has to do with earthquakes, because they're literal. I believe that God has been speaking to many of you concerning this earthquake. And I'm not talking about a tremor. I'm talking about an earth-shaking earthquake that's going to be of high magnitude, with the buildings shaking, streets crumbling, and people running about fearful. These things are not given to us from heaven to scare us, but to prepare us. Again, these things are not given to us from heaven to scare us, but to prepare us. We prepare by praying and interceding, not in fear and unbelief, but in faith and confidence. Secondly, we can warn those that we love, particularly those that are in the danger zone. Thirdly, we can make a difference where we're at to ensure that those very things will not happen in your area. You can actually stop earthquakes in your area. You can stop it. You can stop major storms, tornadoes, hurricanes. You, as a believer, has the authority, especially when a prophet is sent to you and tells you that you have that authority. And that's the primary methodology of kingdom leadership. It is not by might, nor by power, but it is by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. God does nothing in the earth except he first reveal it to his servants, the prophets. Again, those prophets are people that are hated by religion, excommunicated by the hierarchy of spirituality, so-called, and are a thorn in the side of religiosity. This has always been the case and always will be until the whole earth comes into the unity of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a measure, to the stature of the perfect man, which is in him and he in us. For as it is written, we are all God's, and the scripture cannot be broken. There's no need for God to go to church, is there? I said, there's no need for God to go to church. But gods can come together outside of religion, and often is the case. So, dear children, understand that you need to pray for KwaZulu-Natal and Johannesburg, a.k.a. Joburg, and the major earthquake that I witnessed. God can change it, but in this case, he told me the only way that it's going to be changed is through the prayers of the righteous, not the church, because they're not righteous. They are dependent upon a lie, which is the doctrine, which goes back to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that Satan, in fact, led them to, because Christianity and other religion is the seat and synagogue of Satan. And, dear children, he is a religious spirit. He was the anointed cherub. And so, dear children, here we are today, warning the people. I'm reminded back in 2020, when I saw a vision come before me of great riots taking place in selective cities: New York City, Detroit, Michigan, Los Angeles, California, Seattle, Washington. It was so powerful, I was on television here at West Plains, Missouri, and warned the programmers 2 weeks in a row off a written page that I prepared, warning the people. I also contacted by email the Council of Churches in those selective areas back when I was dealing with religion, as well as the governmental entities thereof, and warned them of the great catastrophe. I even contacted a major journalist in New York and let them know, and it was Stephanopoulos. I warned him. I told him bricks will fall, riots will ensue, fires will rage. Children, not one single entity wrote me back, but every single prophecy came to pass in every riot, in every city. And you could even access these riots that took place in 2020 on your YouTube channels and Google it or look up in the search engine. You'll see those cities. We had family and friends that lived in Seattle, and we desperately warned them to flee, even in Portland. But they went on and were punished. Seattle was closed down by the mob for months, literally under siege. We prophesied these things both on television and on social media. And friends, the life of a prophet is often that of loneliness. Now, when you see popular prophets on TBN, the church channel, they're fake. Jesus said, "Woe is unto you when all men speak well of thee, for so did they the false prophets." See, true prophets speak the truth, and actually the truth is people do not want to hear the truth. These prophets on television prophesy smooth things, as it is written, "Prophesy thus smooth things, son of man." And they prophesy Christianese to the Christianettes and tell them all this fluffy duff and fakey bullshit. And everybody jumps and shouts and runs and praises the prophet for the false prophecies. And when they don't come to pass, then they come up with 10 reasons why that it didn't. Now, we know, according to the Bible, prophets who did that were killed in the Old Testament, and also their families stoned to bloody death. I believe we ought to reinstitute that. We'd get rid of some of these pillar prophets. They are a thorn in the flesh of the true ones, always has been, and always will be until we all come into the unity, the knowledge of the Son of God. So, dear children, I cry unto you as a prophet of God to pray for Johannesburg and KwaZulu-Natal. KwaZulu-Natal was full of blood. It ran in the streets. People crying. I saw dead children, dead adults, people shot, cut, and severed. It was a hot mess. And then also in Johannesburg, the buildings were shaking, the ground was rumbling. It was a high magnitude earthquake. And you need to intercede. I believe we can stop it. And the reason why that it's taking place is because that Ham is ruling in South Africa. I did a teaching on the curse of Ham. I believe in South Africa you pronounce it Ham. And it is true that the Bible speaks about Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Shem being the Middle Easterner and the Oriental, Ham being the black man, Japheth being the Caucasian. And we find that Ham was cursed to lead, and that everywhere that a black man rules is cursed. We see where the white man rules, we see great infrastructure, great wealth distribution, great armies of war, great success and productivity. In the Middle East and in the Orient, we also see spirituality and that of a heart of a conqueror and success. But yet, the continent of Africa holds the most valuable natural resources worldwide, but yet is the most poverty-stricken continent on earth. And it's because Ham is ruling. It is not the will of God for Ham to rule the continent of Africa. God told me it is his will for the Afrikaner, the Boer, the Caucasian, to start ruling in South Africa as they did before, and as they did in Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia, so on and so forth, and move northward and be in charge of the continent, making it a prosperous continent. I saw in the future, in a couple of 100 years, that there was only 4 nations in African continent. The continent was divided into 3, South, Mid, and North. But they were ruled by the Caucasian man. I saw Germany, I saw Russia, and I saw the Afrikaner with a sickle in his hand and a plow in his field. I saw a new flag. The old flag instituted with the melding and fusion of a new flag with a picture of the Afrikaner and the Boer. Now, I'm not prejudiced, dear children. I love black people. I have black friends. They're wonderful people. Some of the most anointed and blessed people are black in the world. But they are not to rule. It is not in the cards or in the stars. And the blacks that know this are blessed, and those that don't are simply disillusioned. Friends of mine, I thank God that he has sent me primarily to the Afrikaner and the Boer, and also the other true precious believers of South Africa. Mark those things down. Within about 200 years, Africa will be consistent of 3 nations, South, Mid, and North. And I saw the Caucasian man ruling, and that continent of Africa became one of the most prosperous continents on the face of the earth. We're excited. We know why, and the Lord revealed to me why, that racism has been propagated by the mainstream media, both in the United States and South Africa, because Satan has also seen what I've seen. He has been in the counsel of the Lord and walked with the sons of God before the great source of all living. He has witnessed the future, and it is his lot to put a stop to it before it gets started, just as he tried to kill Moses by killing the babies of old, just as he tried to kill Messiah when Jesus was born. He's trying to stop it before it gets started, but I've got news for him and everyone else. You're not going to stop the Holy Ghost rock. And that rock is Christ. And Christ is divine, and you can't go under for going over. And God will make a way for you where there seems no way. If you believe this message of the prophet concerning the Afrikaner and the Boer, I want you to acknowledge, I believe the man of God. Until tomorrow, God bless you.